interesting when you hear Taker speak on Shawn Michaels and Triple H because he has so much respect for them, as most people would. They're two of the greatest of all time. But with him, it's almost like he trusts his life with them. He's not friends, like the greatest of friends. He's not going to buddy up with them. But if he was ever in trouble and he needed something, he would call Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That's the kind of friendship, the closeness they have with each other. As you would think, because if you look at his history with Shawn Michaels especially, the matches he's had with Shawn Michaels, the Hell in a Cell from 1997, the first ever Hell in a Cell, classic. The WrestleMania match, WrestleMania 25 and 26. So matches, classics, both of them. And then, of course, we go to Triple H, who, Triple H gives a lot of credit to Taker for helping him, integrate himself into the WWE. Before he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he was terrorizing in WCW. That might be a video for a different time, but yeah, he credits Taker for helping to get comfortable, get some knowledge about where he's working, become the game. And that's basically what the documentary focused on, because it's very important to know that the kind of matches that you see with Triple H and Taker, the match that you saw with Shawn Michaels and Taker, the end of an era Hell in a Cell match, which I still think is one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, that is what Taker is looking for. The Undertaker is looking for a match that meets that standard, which is where we have a dilemma. Because that's the only way Taker can hang it up. His match with John Cena couldn't do that because it was 3 minutes long. Taker wanted a 30-minute match with John Cena. He couldn't get it. He didn't get it. And so he didn't feel satisfied. So what did he do? He kept coming back. He wrestled Rusev. Forgettable match. Not good enough. Okay, I'll wrestle Triple H now. Not good enough. Alright, let's do one more. Let's do the Brothers of Destruction versus DX. Which is interesting because it required Shawn Michaels to break his rule, to come out of retirement. And usually, when asked to come out of retirement, Shawn says no. Steadfast, no. And let's not pretend that he could not come out and still go. He can still go. Please. AJ Styles versus HBK? Daniel Bryan versus HBK? Seth Rollins versus HBK? Dolph Ziggler versus HBK? You mean to tell me that if Shawn Michaels was to come back right now and have one last run, that he couldn't go? That's the whole point. He doesn't need to do this anymore. He left people with the idea, I still got it, and I always will have it. That's what makes him special. That's what makes his retirement special. But he broke that retirement for Taker. So the Undertaker can come out and, have that one match where he can go, I'm good. That's it for me. That was supposed to be what he was supposed to get at Crown Jewel 2018. Unfortunately, that's not what he got. And before we get into what happened, you guys should know this. When it comes to Crown Jewel, any of the events, I am purposely skipping them. I don't watch anything related to Saudi Arabia. I watched that one show, The Greatest Royal Rumble. I am never watching a single Saudi Arabia show, and you know why. I think that relationship is toxic. I think that relationship is horrible for WWE's image, and I can't support it. So you will never ever see me do a review on a Crown Jewel show. With that said, in preparation for this broadcast, I did go on WWE's network and watch the Crown Jewel match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction, and oh God. What a disaster. Everything that could go wrong in that match went wrong. The most devastating part about it, they talk about it in the documentary. Triple H tore his quad. No, that would have made it worse. He tore his bicep, his pec. Jesus Christ, if Triple H tore his quad too, that would just be funny at that point. No, he tore his quad, I think when he was trying to do that bump to the outside. He tore, I don't think he had any more injuries, but Shawn Michaels was supposed to do a moonsault on top of Taker and Kane, and they missed him. They let him hit the freaking mat altogether. Kane's mask fell off in the middle of the match. And then most of all, it was so clunky. And then it was long. Y'all, it went a good 30 minutes. They should have cut that. As soon as Triple H tore his quadricep, when he got that injury, that should have been it. They should have just said, all right, go home. No, they kept going. It was a disaster. And, watching it and then going back to listen about it in the documentary, you can already tell where this is going. You're like, okay, so now that he realizes this ain't it, guess what he has to do? I gotta come back and have another match to redeem that match. And now it's a vicious cycle. It's a continuing dilemma where, all right, I gotta have that one 5-star classic to where I can convince people I still got it and I can be satisfied to call it a day. But every time he has a match, we do this thing where, okay, I had a bad match. I now have to come back to redeem that match and then continue to wrestle to have a 5-star classic. Because that's what's happening here. Because now that he now that he had this horrible match to Triple H and Shawn Michaels, although he did lose the match, because the match sucked, now he has to come back and redeem that match. And what match does he try to redeem it with? His match with Goldberg, which is the next chapter. And oh, my Lord, sweet Jesus. My Lord, sweet Jesus. Compared to that match, Goldberg and Taker, this was a classic. Yeah, this was horrible. But Goldberg and Taker, oh. So, we continue to have these dilemmas where Taker can't let it go. He's never ever, and I believe this, he's never ever going to be able to rekindle the magic he had with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. He's never going to do that. He can't. Call it age, or just call it a different era. You will never have wrestlers of the caliber that Shawn Michaels and Triple H are. And I love AJ Styles. I love Daniel Bryan. I love Seth Rollins. You're not going to get a 5-star classic out of those guys. Not with Taker the way he is. You're not. And that's what hurts. Because what he's looking for might just be out of reach. Which means he's never going to truly have that closure. And it also means unless someone tells him to retire, he's never really going to retire. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is going to have to tell him, dude, that's it. No more. You have to stop. And Vince is never going to do that. Vince has too much respect and love for Taker to tell him, stop. He's not going to tell him to do it. And even if he did, you have to wonder, would Taker stop? Because think about this. Let's say Vince says you can never wrestle in WWE anymore. What's to stop Taker from going to AEW? What's to stop Taker from going to any other wrestling company out there, ROH, to have that one last good match? The classic that he's looking for. What's stopping him? That's what bothers me about this. People need to understand that this isn't just a WWE thing. This is a Taker thing. He's obsessed with having that one last classic. And we're at that point now in his career where it's just like, do you even have that in you anymore? I don't know if Taker has any more classics in him. And he's going to be continuously putting his body on the line week in and week out, hoping to get lucky with an AJ Styles or someone else to give him a classic. I honestly, wholeheartedly believe you're not going to get any better than what we got with the Boneyard match. I think that's it. Like, that's as good as we're going to get with Taker. That was outstanding. Classic? I don't know. But really fun and awesome. I don't know if that's good enough for Taker, though, because it's not a match. Taker wants a 5-star classic that fans can go, all right, there you go. Is it too late? Is it too late? Are you chasing a dragon that you will never be able to catch? Are you looking for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? That's just not there. What's wrong with just calling it a day now? You've already had plenty of classics that we can remember you for. You had nothing left to prove. The thing is, it ain't about proving to us that he's good. It's about proving to himself that he's still a legend. This is a Taker thing. This is a Mark Calloway thing. Mark Calloway needs to prove to himself that he still has it. That he still has it. And I get that it's got to be one of those things where if he doesn't find it, and this is the sad part, if Taker doesn't find it, he will never be satisfied and he will never be able to truly let it go and retire, which could play into his personal life with Michelle McCool and his wife. Because if he's not happy, he can't be happy when he retires. And if he's not happy when he retires, his home life will suffer. His relationships will suffer. He will be a bitter man. Which is why everyone, if you talk to people who know Taker, they'll all say, I hope he finds it. I hope he finds it too. I hope he finds that one guy that can give him that match. Hell, at this point, I don't know if WWE would be willing to do it if we can find something to do. I am willing to bring in someone outside of WWE to give Taker that classic match. Why not? If the WWE was to talk to AEW and go, look, can we use Kenny Omega to fight Taker in his final match? To give Taker that classic. Like, I doubt that would happen, but at this point, it's Taker. And it's a one-time request that would give Taker that closure so he can just say, I'm done. Maybe we can get Okada. Someone that we know could bring Taker to that level. Because, I'm sorry, Triple H isn't doing it. Shawn Michaels isn't doing it. I don't know if AJ Styles can do it at this point. I don't know if Bryan can do it at this point. I don't think McIntyre can do it. Lesnar can't do it. At least with Sting, and I'll say this about Sting, the match quality won't be as good, but because of the story and the legacy these two have, the match itself, as long as it's decent, will be good enough. I feel like, and I've always felt this way, and I still feel this way, maybe Sting should be his last opponent. And I know Sting's not working with WWE no more, so they can just call him back. Kurt Angle's not working with WWE anymore, and he's still working with them on NXT this Wednesday. So does that really matter? I'm just saying, like, there's got to be something we can do. Because the way it looks, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I don't see Taker ever retiring. He's never going to retire because it's a vicious cycle. You're going to have a bad match, then you got to come back and redeem that match before you can have your 5-star classic. He's going to continue to put his body on the line when he shouldn't. And that's the dilemma we run into. That is chapter 3. Exploring the dilemma. Now, there are other things about the chapter they talk about, like his relationships with people like Larry, his relationships with Kane, the Big Red Machine, or Glenn Jacobs, Mayor Glenn Jacobs. It's a nice look into who he is as a person, but it's not something we don't already know. We kind of know that Taker likes to rid people. Like, that kind of guy that likes to tease you because, you know, he likes being teased back. We kind of already knew that about Taker, if you've seen any of the other documentaries before. I just kind of feel like what this exposed to me is a major issue. That if we don't find a way to fix it, it's going to get worse. How long do we need to have Taker come in and wrestle, then have a bad match, then redeem it, only to come back because he's looking for that 5-star classic that he had with Shawn Michaels? I don't know. I just feel like, for me, there has to come a point where someone needs to put their foot down and tell Taker, you're done. Thank you, but you're done. And that's gotta be Vince. It's gotta be Vince. No one else can tell him that. Stone Cold Steve Austin can't tell him that. The Rock can't tell him that. Shawn Michaels won't tell him that. Triple H won't tell him that, as they have the right to not tell him that. They respect him that much. He's not going to listen to me. Who the hell am I? He's not going to listen to you. The only person Taker will listen to is Vince McMahon. That's it. If Vince tells Taker, you're done, he's done. But Vince is not going to tell him that because he loves him too much. So, I don't know what to do. Now I don't know what to do. I hope he finds the classic. I just think it's never going to come. He's never going to be able to have a classic as good as Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 or WrestleMania 26. He's never going to have a classic like the end of an era. You're just not going to get it at this point in time in his career. It's too late. I hate saying it, but it's too late. There's a side of me that hopes he proves me wrong, because I want him to have that closure. I just don't see it happening. And that sucks. Because he's never going to retire until he gets it. So, that's my thoughts. Give me your thoughts in the live chat, in the comments. What do you have to say about this? Let me go to the live chat here. Which I gotta say. Let's see here. Otaku Senpai. Has Taker taken his dead man immortal demon gimmick too literally? Maybe too attached to the coolness of his character. I mean, when you've been wrestling for, 3 decades, you kind of get attached. So I don't blame him for that. McLean Roach. Aleister Black versus Taker. I like it. I really do. But again, will that be enough? We are pro wrestling. I hope the end of part 5 is him saying that the Boneyard match was his last match. Please. 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 I pray that's the case. Let's see here. I see people talking about a subject that I'll get to later on today. I'm not going to address anything with JD or Alexa Bliss until later on. Watch that video, I promise. AJ Envoy, I think it will take a career-ending injury for Taker to stop. That comment bothers me because he's right. And I'm sorry, I'll come back to the live chat in a second because I gotta expand on that. That's what bothers me about it. Because if Vince McMahon doesn't tell him to stop, guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna get hurt. Seriously hurt. To where he has to stop. And that should never happen. That's not fair. AJ, you're absolutely right. That might be the only thing that stops Taker. Father Time. Father Time will come in and say, okay, I gotta break this. Break his leg, whatever, and then say, you're done. So either Father Time tells Taker to stop, or Vince McMahon tells Taker to stop. Because none of them tell Taker to stop. He's not going to stop. He can't. He loves it too much. Let's see here. Malik Helps dead ass would take something serious for Taker to stop. Ezel, he had that 5-star match with HBK in 2009 and 2010, which should have been it. I agree, but he needs one more. Samar, I need hot sauce for my burrito, baby. Oh Lord, is that Friday? Next Friday? We're friends. Let's see here. Young Deku, Taker versus Vince should be a good storyline, which Vince is a face and Taker being the heel. Where Taker refuses to retire and Vince is like, I'm gonna fight you in a match where if you lose, you're fired. Probably.
Are you going to watch Raw tonight?
No! That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. No! 5-star heart. I fear for Taker's overall health that the longer he keeps going. Excuse me. Try that again. I feel for Taker's overall health the longer he keeps going. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 or even a handful of matches every year. Almost makes you feel like Meltzer should just give it. Like, Meltzer should just give him the 5-star. Like, dude, just give him the goddamn 5-star match and let him go. Seriously. JoJo, Undertaker's opponent should be Jeff Hardy. I don't know about that.
WWE is saying anything AEW can do, I can do better.
Basically them taking their idea of using the wrestlers in the crowd. I mean, it's a good idea. I think they should take that out. Just come out and say, we're going to copy you, and just do it. Because they should. They should copy them, because that's, yeah. That's a good idea. Their shows need it. Elias Ademi. A simple no would suffice. Like, seriously, just no. No more. Just no. I'm not watching Raw. No! Q-Dog in the house. Taker will go on as long as Flair. See, Flair was forced to retire. That was it. Even when Flair got that amazing retirement in 2008, he still came back and wrestled until he couldn't do it anymore. Like, he literally couldn't physically do it health-wise. So he had to stop. Wasn't because he wanted to stop. If Flair had it his way, I get them mixed up for good reason, he would still be wrestling. I don't know why people want me to book Charlotte Flair versus Taker, because basically Charlotte Flair is, let's just be real, she's the main star of WWE. She is. They give her everything. They might as well just give her all the belts. Just give her all the belts, because that's the real star of your company, unfortunately. Lisbon 67. AJ versus Taker 2 is already being portrayed on SmackDown. You know he's gonna come back and have one more with Taker. Yeah, AJ's gonna have one more with Taker. I don't know if that's good. Here's what I'm gonna say, and I'll say this before I read a couple more, then I'm gonna get out of here. If they do one more between AJ and Taker, I really hope AJ can give him that one last match, that one last classic, because he needs it. Let's see here. Terry Funk still kept going until a couple years ago. The man is in his 70s. Some people just can't let it go, man. That's depressing. I don't want Taker to wrestle until his 70s. I almost want Dave Meltzer to just give him the goddamn 5-star. Just here, 5-star match. Go home. Just take it. Here's your 5-star. Like 5-star Heart said. Here, take the 5 stars. Here, matter of fact, 6 stars. Stop. No more. This is the greatest match in WWE history. The greatest wrestling match ever. I wish they would have done that with Taker and AJ. Honestly, if they would have taglined Taker and AJ as the greatest wrestling match ever, I would have been like, you know what? Screw it. Yes, it's the greatest wrestling match ever, so Taker can stop. You're right. You're absolutely right. Taker signed the contract into 2034. Oh yeah, I know. He signed a 15-year contract. I'm aware. Jesus. We are pro wrestling. Here's the 45,834 star match. Dynamic J thought, here's all the damn stars. Just get the hell out of the ring. Firestar Heart. 10 star. Now please go home. Here. We're breaking the scale for you. Retire. Jesus. Christ almighty. I'm having too much fun. Alright, guys, I'm going to cut it off right here. I didn't want to be over here too long. Because, again, when it comes to Chapter 3, not as good as Chapter 1 and 2, but it did give us some look into his psyche. This idea that he just can't let it go. And when you hear that he wants a Shawn classic, a Shawn Michaels HBK classic, or a Triple H classic, or an end of an era classic, you just like, it's never going to come, dude. It's over. But he can't retire until he has it, so... Give me your thoughts down below about it. How do you feel about that? I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be back later on today because we got some... Oh, do we got some things to talk about. But until then, this is Alyx. Just Alyx signing off right here in Alyx's world. You guys take care of yourself. See you later. Peace.